business pro tips, what I'm going to do is go over the method that I utilize when I'm actually looking at any situation in my business life. Now, what you see on the board is comfortability, responsibility, problem, and solution. It's always that way. There's a right triangle that's on this board that's going to allow me to climb and actually gain experience as well. So today on the show, let's talk about the right triangle and am I willing to, and that is solve the problem. That's what we're going to talk about today when we get back.
Having cool-looking business cards feels great. But cool-looking cards and feeling great don't pay bills. Money does. Finding someone to design cool business cards isn't tough. Finding someone to design cool business cards and a plan to get your money back is a different story. CFS Studios. We're a different story. Call today, 402-804-3777, extension 700.
Welcome back. I'm glad you had the opportunity to check out the Shay Show Business Pro Tips. If you've never liked, subscribed, or followed our channel before, please do so now. That way you can get the latest information as we upload it, and you can actually hit the bell icon and you'll be notified when our latest content is dropping, especially when we go ahead and schedule it out. That way you know what time you can sit in front of the computer, when it's comfortable to you and your time is free, and you can learn about this. When you're in business, one of the things you have to do is be able to solve the problem. And you got to ask, am I willing to solve the problem? For most of us, we know that the problems itself are not actually comfortable. But on today's Business Pro Tips, we're going to talk about the right triangle of solving problems in every organization, regardless if it's a product, service, when it comes to your product, as far as what you put into the market, what we like to call your value proposition. We're going to have that conversation today. We're going to talk about how you can solve all these problems and deal with this factor here immediately. I'm going to put a little dot here. I'll put a little dot here when it comes to solutions. A little dot in the problem. And you're going to notice a right triangle. Now, please understand that whenever you're solving a problem, you're going to solve problems with emotion. So emotions are going to be there. So regardless of anything else, in between comfortability, problem, responsibility, and solution, I'm going to tell you what you're going to have. The conversation. Now I need you to understand, the conversation is with emotion. It always is. But it's not going to solve the problem. The conversation will not solve the problem. Responsibility will. Because responsibility is the starting point of gaining skills. These skills are going to be, we'll put here the word, it's going to be against your comfortability. I think most of us have to understand that to become some of the greatest athletes in the world, it has to go against your comfortability. When everyone else is out there doing stuff, going to the games, watching the football games, I mean, those things are going to happen. And when those things happen, guess what's going to take place? You're going to miss out on that. Your comfortability is not going to be there. Because whenever you're going to go out and gain, when you do responsibility and you're going to gain the ability to get skills, might as well go ahead and give up comfortability. The amount of time dedicated that we all have to utilize in order for us to have more experience. Think about changing a tire. Think about, painting a house, becoming proficient in that, wiring, regardless of what. Everybody has opinions, and opinions are always based on comfortability. I'll give an example. I had a great conversation over the weekend with a lady in Target. Now, I don't normally go to Target, but the reality was I just went into Target just to kind of see how did they change. I'm just looking at what's changed since Target got a lot of backlash. The same thing like Bud Light. If you're thinking about Target as a position that you want to own one day, or Bud Light, you can see how that stock took a big hit. Well, I just wanted to go and see. So on my way, to go to another meeting, I actually stopped past Target just to see what changed. Are they still pushing what we call the Me Too movement, or did they kind of scale back? Well, I'm happy to report, just a brief walk in and walk around the clothing department, Target started to kind of unwrap some of the things that they were kind of pushing out there. Well, they had a problem. A complete fallback on get hit very, very hard. Second is they had to be responsible. I mean, that responsibility in being responsible is not going to be comfortable because they got caught in that whole thing, which everybody was caught in going into 2001, from 2000 to 2002, the whole thing where they were just pushing an agenda that necessarily wasn't really about generating revenue. So if the issue is revenue, which if you're in 2023 right now and you're going through this where we at now with high interest rates, then you're going to have some type of effect on this here. How do you deal with it? Write it down. Comfortability, responsibility, problem, solution, right triangle. You're going to have to go and step out of being your comfortability, and you're going to have to go right underneath that so you can put here experience. You know what ends up happening? The word comfortability also has to do with an ideology of control. Most of the times when you're in a relationship with business partners or friends, the comfortability and their opinions are always based on what they feel they control. Like, for example, I have free will. And because I have free will, another person, including, my wife or friends, they can't control me. What they can do is they can inform and compliment, but they can't control. And whenever they feel out of control, if they feel like, okay, we got this, I have this relationship with you, and I'm in a situation where my comfortability feels uncomfortable, I can assure you that comfortability is always associated with control. The more a person feels they have control over the situation, over what a person thinks, over what a person does, over what a person believes, or any of those things. People built their entire comfortability off of that. But remember, we're supposed to compliment one another, never compare, but compliment. How come? Because when we're going through the starting point of gaining skills against your comfortability, you're talking about going after straight experience. And this is how, on today's business pro tip, you must move. Step number one, you got to be able to write down comfortability, responsibility, problem, and solution. Do a right triangle. Now you may say, well, the reason I'm telling you that is because you're going to be climbing a mountain that's totally against your comfortability, that's going to cause you at times with emotions, to be able to fight against climbing this mountain here, because you got to gain experience. As you gain new experiences, you actually gain new comfortabilities. So this is a battle you're going to have for the rest of your life. Gaining experience, destroying your previous comfortability, gaining experience, establishing new comfortability. Again, you're going to first have to have a problem that makes you go against your comfortability, to destroy your comfortability, to gain experience, and then in turn get new comfortability, because this problem gives you experience. And as the saying always goes, once you have hindsight, you're going to either wish you did gain experience, or you're going to actually say, man, I'd just rather stay here. But there's something that's true. Everybody who's climbing this mountain is going to get ahead of you. So you don't have to ask that. If you don't choose to shatter your comfortability, which is based on an old problem, not a new problem, just want to tell you that. All comfortability is based on the past. New comfortability is based on the past until you shatter it, because you're going to always go from being present to the comfortability of the past, then shattering the presence to get new comfortability for the future. That's today's business pro tip. I definitely want to take this opportunity to thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This allows me to be able to have a short video, show you a strategy that you can incorporate. You can use it when it comes to your business. You can use it when it comes to relationships. You can use it when it comes to dealing with a friend, associate, even your parents. The most important thing is understand that in everything in life, it all starts with a problem, and then you being responsible to it. Because it goes, responsibility solves problems, and you always have a solution. And then you get to be responsible again. Then you get to solve another problem, then you have another solution. Responsibility, problem, solution. That is the triangle. It's constantly climbing the hill, and comfort along the way is here. You get new comfortability each time. And the higher you go, the more experience you have. I see you guys on Wednesday with Business Pro Tips on Wednesday. Have a great day.